Welcome to A Friend of Mine, a series of conversations with some incredible and inspiring women in business from regional and rural Australia. I'm Kimberly Finesse, your host and the founder and editor of Oak Magazine, and I cannot wait to introduce you to some amazing female entrepreneurs who will share with you their experience and knowledge of what it takes to start, grow and scale a successful business. So let me introduce you to a friend of mine. Fisher & Farmer is not just a homeware store. It's a lifelong dream brought to life for owner Melissa Corbett. Mel always had the vision of opening her own business, and her background in public relations has been a valuable asset in making that dream come true. Mel's deep connection to her community led her to realise that the small town of Ganmain in rural New South Wales could greatly benefit from a local homeware store, reducing the need for residents to travel to larger towns. Fisher & Farmer started as a humble market stall in 2016. Over the years, it's grown into a small bricks and mortar store to now occupying the space of the old supermarket in the main street of Ganmain. Not only does Fisher & Farmer provide residents with homewares and gifts and even a coffee shop, but it also attracts visitors and tourists to the town, boosting Ganmain's economy and putting it on the map. Mel is here for the long run, committed to the success and growth of her business and community. In this episode, recorded in the outdoor area of Fisher & Farmer, Mel shares the challenges of running a retail store, the importance of thinking outside the box, why her team is her greatest asset, and her future plans for Fisher & Farmer. Meet my friend Mel from Fisher & Farmer. Hello, Mel. Welcome to A Friend of Mine podcast.
Hello, Kimberly. Thank you.
No, thank you for inviting me to beautiful Ganmain, and you're closed today. So it feels like a bit of a VIP tour of your beautiful store.
Yeah, thank you.
I've just come from a morning tea in Coolamon and had just mentioned I'm going to Ganmain to do an interview, and then someone's like, oh yeah, that'll be Mel from, Fisher & Farmer, and everyone knew who you were. They were so excited and so many were just cheerleaders about what you've created here.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's lovely to hear. And that's what small communities are about. I'm very, very lucky to have a support network here in Ganmain for Fisher & Farmer, and even personally, it's wonderful, and that's one of the benefits of living in a small rural town.
Yeah.
I love it.
A lot of them were just saying it like it's worth the drive. They said you've set up in somewhere where there's not a lot of foot traffic, but you have really brought tourism to this town. So for someone to say that about you, how does that feel?
That's humbling. Thank you. We are in Ganmain, and I guess that was my being a little bit hesitant opening Fisher & Farmer. Was there's 650, 700 people in the town. So where are people going to come from? Who's your market? Will anyone come in? Will anyone buy anything? You have those doubts as a first business owner. It was just something that I saw that town would benefit from, being able to buy a gift here, or, a cowhide maybe in Ganmain, rather than travelling, through to the bigger towns in, say, Wagga. Wagga's approximately 60 k's west of here, so we do get ladies coming out from Wagga, which is lovely. So it is a bit of a destination, but yeah, we don't actually have people walking past the front door as such, but yeah, lucky we have visitors coming to visit us and doing a bit of shopping and seeing other great things in the town as well.
I suppose what I'm finding with these small towns, and you've got these incredible retail stores, is like you're doing it for the community. You are providing such an incredible service. It's such a big, brave step to take.
Someone said to me the other day, actually, it was quite funny because we're going on to 7 years old. I mean, this is my happy place. I love being a Fisher & Farmer. And they said, I just could not imagine Fisher & Farmer not being here now. Like, it's such a great place. And last year I put a coffee window in. So before that, I just pretty much did homewares, and then eventually went into clothing and a few more brands and labels, and put the coffee window in, which has created another aspect of the business. So we trade Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So we get a lot of people coming out weekends, We get people coming to the window. It's sort of like a gathering. It's really nice to see people, even if it is just for a coffee. Some people don't come in. They just order a coffee at the window, which is fine. But it's another aspect which I'm really enjoying about the business.
Yeah. Well, I'm a big coffee lover. I would definitely call myself a little coffee snob. And I think that's because, like, Bendigo has a really good coffee scene, but also had spent a couple of years in Melbourne. So, that's where it starts.
Yes.
And travelling around, it can be a little tricky in the smaller towns to find somewhere. And you have so kindly made me one. Even though it's not open today, you've switched the machine on and it's incredible. People must be so grateful to have, really good coffee.
Yeah.
And for some people, it's part of their morning routine. It's a bit of a ritual and a nice way to start your day.
And I guess too, another motivator for me doing it was that, in the country, it can be quite isolating as well. So sometimes the barista or that coffee window is what you see, is the only people that you sort of communicate with if you're working remotely or working from home or living in small communities, or farmers just, duck past and grab their coffee and they head out onto the tractor. So it's nice to have that social aspect of it too. I love the gathering, of a weekend and croissants and coffee, and it's really nice.
Beautiful. Well, let's go back probably a few years. How did you come to open Fisher and Farmer?
Fisher and Farmer was a lifelong dream of mine. I've always thought that I would open a business one day. Playing dress-ups and shops were my favourite games as a little girl, and I still do it today. So I'm very lucky and feel very blessed that ladies come in and trust me to dress them and offer advice, which is, it's really fun. And Fisher is my maiden name, and I married a farmer, so it's pretty simple. So we opened in 2016 and the rest is history. Here we are.
Has it always been here in this building?
No. So initially I started as a market stall. So I did about 3 or 4 markets, and I just said to my husband, this is hard work. Carting around stock and, applying for market stalls and different things. So the little shop across the road, which was the old accountant's building, was my first base, and I was there for approximately 6 months. And then this is the old supermarket where we currently are. So this was on the market and didn't quite look how it did today. So after a fair bit of work and elbow grease, we got in and transformed it to what it is today. So very proud of that, actually. And it is a big shop, but I don't seem to have trouble filling it, that's for sure.
And I do. I love that there's all these little nooks and crannies that it's like a treasure trove.
It is.
It's not where, you've got plates here and clothes here. It's just, it's like this little,
It is. Most of the ladies do inform me that you have to do about 6 or 7 laps to actually, and each time you do a lap, you see something new. So that's nice. It is kind of a bit of a, wander through and have a little look and, see if something grabs your interest. But, we have lots of fun here. I have a couple of girls that have been here for quite some time, and they compliment me in the store. I'm very grateful and lucky to have good staff and great customers alike. Without the customers, we wouldn't be here. It's sometimes tough in a small regional area, and especially at the moment with interest rates and, obviously different reasons, but it is really challenging. And sometimes I think I'm mad. I think my husband thinks I'm definitely mad, but it's something that I love and I'm passionate about. Until I stop enjoying it, I'll keep doing it.
So I suppose when we look back at how long you've been open for and, you've had the pandemic in between there, when has the toughest time been? Does it feel like now or was it then?
No, definitely now. When COVID first hit us, we were like everybody else. We didn't know what to expect. We didn't know how to plan. We didn't know what to put in place. And then, lockdown, so obviously we couldn't trade. So having online was probably a godsend for us. But, I've learnt a lot since COVID. I guess those difficult times make you more resilient and more determined to try different things and open yourself up to, other opportunities. It's definitely now that I find the most challenging. It's not just the interest rates. It's people, aren't travelling out, for day trips as much as they are. The weather determines whether people will get in the car and come for a drive. There's different reasons. Being the the interest rates are obviously the hardest for people not having the disposable income anymore to buy that, pair of dress and earrings. But it is tricky times, but I just think that you have to stick with it and be resilient and look outside other opportunities and talk to other businesses, and talk to your friends and do the research. Power is knowledge. So if you can, just look at different options, I think if we get through this, we can get through anything.
Do you have an inner circle that you talk to about business, and how often do you catch up?
I'm very lucky. I have a great network around me from all different walks of life and friends and other business owners and family. Sometimes it's hard because you don't want to burden people with your stuff. You're quite picky of what you talk about and how's the shop, Mel? Oh, it's great, thank you,
Yes.
and you don't want to burden them with your problems and things, but some months it's not great, and you do feel like giving up, and you do feel like, what am I doing? Am I doing something wrong? Could I be doing something better? And you're quite hard on yourself. Well, I am. I don't always know if I'm doing the right thing, or if I'm buying the right stock, or if I'm targeting the right audiences, or so unless you're sort of signing up for a coach or you're signing up for to put yourself on the line. I think we all have those insecurities. That's part of being a human, isn't it?
Yep. Well, I suppose it was the same this morning. I sat down to you and you just said, you're doing a wonderful thing. And I'm like, am I? Because I question whether anyone's listening, anyone's reading.
Yeah.
Like we just all have that internal dialogue
Absolutely.
of, why are we doing it? And I suppose it does come back to that question. There has to be more to it than just profit. If I was to ask you, then why are you doing it? Why don't you close that door today and just walk away?
I just love it. I'm here for the long run. this is my happy place, and I'm really passionate about it. And if I wasn't, I guess I wouldn't be here. And it and I think Ganmain is a better place with Fisher and Farmer without sounding a bit.
No, I've heard people say that this morning already. That you have created a really special spot for
Oh, thank
the town.
you. That means a lot.
Yep.
Yeah,
They would miss you sorely.
And sometimes you need to remind yourself that you're doing a great job, rather than being hard on yourself and having negative thoughts. It's probably sometimes good to turn it around and say, "Listen, you're doing okay. You're doing okay."
So before Fisher and Farmer, what was Mel doing?
So Mel was working at Great Southern Energy, Country Energy, which is now Essential Energy. Had a few amalgamations there. So I was there for about 16, 17 years, and I was doing PR, so public relations, media, stakeholder relations, sponsorships, events. So I kind of had a little bit of a head start for a business, my business brain, I guess. Yeah, I just really enjoyed doing that. I loved being outdoors and setting things up and doing things, for other people, getting paid to do it, of course, which was great. And Henty Field Days was one of those things that I used to coordinate or help coordinate for Essential Energy back in the day. And that's how I sort of started doing that with Fisher and Farmer, because as you say, in tough times, you really do have to think outside the square. So I do two a year. I do the Henty Field Days, which is a 3-day event down at Henty, as you know, and the other one is the Children's Medical Boutique Markets in Wagga. That happens next month, and it's a great little fair over 2 days. So, yeah, we do both of those, and they're both well worth doing for us, and it's also about a bit of exposure too. You'll be surprised. I always take a heap of business cards with me wherever I go. You'll be surprised how many business cards I hand out, and people don't know where you are and haven't heard of your business. So that to me is great. We have to come out and say hello, and so handing out those and getting that exposure, I guess, is important too for a small business in a small regional town.
And I saw you at Henty, and I was so excited, and I dropped in and said hello, and
yes.
It's huge. Henty.
It is, yes.
I still can't get. To be honest, I was just thinking we didn't get to the whole Henty Field Days. And not to say that you can't in a day. I think we just kept,
Oh, it's massive and it's growing every year.
It
It's
is.
huge.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great for us. We're in the same spot. We've been going for 4 years and we just love it. It's just a great 3 days and country people are the best. You just talk to people every day. Yeah, make some money in the meantime and have a bit of fun. It's
Do you close this storefront?
No, so the girls will still be here. It's only the Thursday, and we pack up the Friday and head home. So, the shop is as usual, business as usual.
And as you said, like the brand awareness is still a big part because so what I'd asked a few people at the Henty Field Days was, is it sales or brand awareness? Like what's important to you or something like this? Because when you take into account your stall fee,
yes,
how much it costs to get there, accommodation, you might be staying overnight. Like, you've got to weigh up. Are you looking to make that back in product?
Look, you've got to be realistic and obviously one of the biggest challenges in small business is cash flow. So obviously, you've got to go to try and make money. Henty's huge. I mean, you ask any of my staff and it's a bit of an in-house joke, but they're like, don't talk to Mel the month coming up to Henty because her head's everywhere, which is probably true, and, you've got to look at my nails. Cold sore. I'm completely wrecked after Henty, but it is worth going. It's I love it. I look forward to it every year, and we make money there, but it is also exposure. And you've got to put yourself out there sometimes and try different things and do you. Do what suits you and your business. But I think that's the way business is going now. I don't think it's a 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, job. I think you've got to be thinking all the time about different ways of branding and making money and exposing yourself, products, your service, all that has to be at a high level now.
Yeah.
Because you just drown out. You don't stand out,
How do you upskill then?
I'm not sure. I don't have all the answers. I just do what's best for what I think. I'm just in my lane over here and doing what I think is great. Doesn't always work. Sometimes it backfires. I'm having a go and I love what I do. So I think if you do that, you come to work each day and do what you love, well, it can't be that bad, can it?
No, not at all. Tell me about the store and what types of products you have in there.
So we stock pretty much everything from clothing, shoes, accessories, cowhide rugs, giftware, soaps, perfumes, a lot of stuff. I mean, I probably stock way too much, but it is, as you say, a little bit of if you're going to come for a drive, you come out and it's certainly worth you popping in and having a look because there's so many things. But we try and support a lot of other small businesses. That was my idea when I first opened. Obviously, I have some bigger brands that people love, which you've got to have, but we also stock local artists. We stock all handmade earrings and jewellery, a little bit of clothing, shoes, bags. Actually, we stock so much. It's quite insane, to be honest.
But that's it. I think you've nailed it though. Like if you come out, you don't want to sort of go into a shop and how you can just do a lap or sometimes you could stand at the door, swing from left to right and go, there's nothing in and out.
Yes.
You go like you do. You have to
quite the opposite
come
here.
and
sometimes I feel like it's overwhelming because there's so much stock and and there's so much to look at and I think some people do get overwhelmed, but it's a good overwhelm. It's, and if you ask me for help, I'll be more than happy to put you in the right direction.
In terms of wow moments, what's been one for you in terms of your business?
Just to do what I love, just to be able to come to a place that, I've created and offers something special for the customers and the community. It's hard work. It really is. It's some days I'm so tired, but other days I couldn't imagine myself doing anything else. I'm pretty lucky, really. So Fisher and Farm is pretty wow to me.
Oh, that's a nice way to look at your wow moment. Yeah.
I can't sort of pinpoint one thing.
Yep.
But our customers are lovely. We have great rapport with our customers and they're country ladies, so they know what they want most of the time, and if I can be of any assistance and help them along the way, I will. Most people are pretty confident in what they like and what they choose.
You talk about a team. What does your team look like?
My team is loyal. They are hardworking and very honest and upfront with me, which is what I love, and most of all flexible. If they need to make a coffee, they'll make a coffee. If they need to model, they'll model. If they need to unpack boxes or, sweep the back area or hose down the front patio, that's what they do. They're great. I'd be lost without them, to be honest. The flexibility of my team is they just rally together and they kind of know when I need extra help this week. I've just spent a month in Europe with my son. Thank goodness I have that team and that flexibility, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to go. So I really appreciate and respect my team.
So you're able to go to Europe and switch off?
Look, I think it's anybody that has a busy brain and a busy life. It takes a while. But once I was in Venice and Florence, I was with the Prosecco. I certainly switched off there for a while. But just to be able to spend some quality time with my son was just so special. And I'm so grateful, to be able to have the flexibility in my team to be able to do that. So it doesn't happen very often, of course. But, and you come back inspired and you want to do lots of things differently, but anyway, it is what it is.
Yeah, I was going to say, did you find some stuff over there and you're like, oh,
yes,
I could work this back in?
Yes, I'm a shopper. I'm a shopper, so I share the love with the economy. I bought some things over there and come back with lots of ideas. But it is Ganmain, and when you don't have that cash flow to be able to do what you want when you want, you just have to be patient and slowly building up to bigger and better things.
What are bigger and better things for Fisher and Farmer?
Well, I'd like to get my outdoor area done so people can come and sit out in the sun, and that would be lovely. And I have this great storage shed out the back, which I'll show you in a minute, but I'd love to be able to turn that into something. So that's my idea. Moving forward, plans for Fisher and Farmer is business as usual, and I think with the coffee window and the business, it's I'm pretty happy with where we're at. Actually, quite content.
Now, it's not a question I like being asked sometimes, but if you were to look 5 years ahead, what do you see? Do you have a business plan in place? Do you have a vision board or some goals, big goals you want to reach?
Oh, look, I'm a dreamer. I have plenty of visions and dreams, but my husband's not with me on that carriage. So that's okay. We will continue, as we're doing, and I'll do up my outdoor area here. And what I see is where we're at, and it takes energy and hard work and a lot of time and money. And I just think sometimes you've just got to enjoy the journey, and whatever comes. And I don't know, to be honest. I have lots of plans, but I don't know what and the time frame. So we'll just see what happens.
Probably one thing I love about owning a business, and I don't know if it's a female thing, but I find that collaboration happens quite organically. You can't just run this thing on your own. Do you love to collaborate? Are there opportunities that you've been able to explore?
Absolutely. I love collaboration. I think it's so important for small business, and, you complement one another. So working together, you're a stronger team, and if they've got a product, or I've collaborated on a few occasions and each time has been successful. I absolutely love it. I love collaboration. I think you have to do it in small business.
Can you give us some examples?
So Julia O'Connell, she's a stylist. So she came and did a photo shoot with us with some models last season, actually, and that was great. So, promoting her as well, and then, getting her expertise for our photo shoot was great. We've done My Floral Styling, gorgeous Amanda. So she's down near Henty, actually. So she came and did a floral workshop for us, and which was great. So we had, 20-something ladies, and that was fantastic.
Julie is a name that's very familiar to our Oak community. I think she's been following, nearly from day dot, really.
Yeah, she's fun. She's a great chick. Yeah.
And are you the first point of contact with your socials? Are you behind? Do you reckon that's important?
Yeah, I do. Yes, that's another thing with small business. You're everything. You know, you're the social media queen. You're the barista. You're the accountant. You're the complaints manager. You're the buyer. You're the seller. You're everything. And sometimes those hats fall off. And that's completely okay. Just pick it up and go again.
I think there's a lot of relationship building that comes from being that first point of contact. Like I'm finding, the Oak Instagram's grown to, 11,000, but it's actually still me behind it. Like I'm the one that has that.
Yes.
And I like that because then it's that really good insight into what does a customer want?
Sure.
What are their complaints?
Yeah. And you know what's going on in your own business, which is really important because you're the face of it. You are it. And but it just becomes sometimes exhausting that you are the only one that does everything because, I have all good intentions of getting back to Laura, but, I may forget. And then you feel bad when she messages a week later and you're just like, I'm so sorry, No excuse, but that's
I feel like that's happening more. I think when I started the social media training and workshops, it's like get back to every comment, get back to every message.
Yes.
And I can't even tell you when that shifted, but I know it did for me. And suddenly, I think it was winning the award actually. There's too many comments. There's too many DMs. You're expected to be online all the time. And I don't know, it's too much.
I did sort of make a pact with myself that trading Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that I would... obviously if it was an urgent request or comment or message, I would get back to them. But I have a life too, and I have a grandchild and I have family, I have younger kids. So for me, just being online all the time and trying to, people please was just exhausting, So I did make a pact that I would reply the days that I was in the shop and discuss whatever you need to discuss during that time. Otherwise, it wasn't that a priority for me. My kids and my granddaughter is.
And bigger businesses aren't online all the time.
No,
like why is small? We always do so much more. We're always more.
Yeah, because we're passionate about it, because it's ours, it's our baby, that's why.
I was just sitting here just listening to you talk and just your background and all. I'm thinking, what's your superpower, Mel?
Customer service.
Yeah.
People. I really enjoy people coming in and where they're from, what brought them to Ganmain, are they looking for something in particular, are they happy to browse? That to me is a buzz. Yeah. Is that insane?
No.
I just enjoy that general chit-chat.
Yeah, yep. My favourite question is always, can you tell me about a friend of yours that we need to know about?
Obviously, Jane Crichton from Seed Food, I love. She's in Wagga, so she does all your staple pantry items, so homemade relish, balsamic vinegar, lemonade. She does all that, which is wonderful. So she's just been down at Henty with me. So, shout out to Jane.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for opening your store on a day that you are closed.
My pleasure.
I truly appreciate that. I feel very VIP.
Thank you for coming. I really appreciate the opportunity to sit here and have a chat. I hope everything was okay.
It's brilliant. As I said, you've got friends who are massive cheerleaders for you in surrounding towns. I think they're so very grateful to have gems like Fisher and Farmer and other little retail stores, the Arc in Coolumon,
yes,
art galleries. It makes it worth coming out.
Makes the community, doesn't it? Yeah, absolutely.
For a drive.
We're very lucky to be here to where we live in the Coolumon Shire. It's a great little area and, if you're looking for something to do of a weekend, come out for a drive.
Yeah, it's beautiful too at the moment.
Beautiful time of the year.
Yeah, canola. It's yellow and green.
Yes. Well,
everywhere.
It's turning now, but it's, it's really pretty to come out for a country drive.
Yeah, and of course, just line up your podcasts. Listen to the dulcet tones of myself and our guests. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Kimberly.
Now, before you take off with all that inspiration and knowledge, we'd love for you to leave a review on our podcast so that we can continue to amplify women's voices in the media. And if you have any questions, we'd like to celebrate a win, you can always connect with us on Facebook and Instagram at Oak Magazine AU. I'm so glad we've met and that now you know a friend of mine.